Ladies and gentlemen, to take us into the fireside chat, we welcome on the stage Managing Editor, Outdoor Asia and Media4Growth. Please welcome Mr. Rajiv Raghunath. Loud round of applause as he walks on the stage. And now it gets exciting. The fireside chat is with strategic marketer, CPG, e-commerce and fintech. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Kedar Ravangave joining us on stage right now, the very first session of the day, and our very first applause for our first speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Kedar Ravangave. Welcome, sir. We move into the fireside chat for 20 minutes, followed by a 10-minute Q&A session. Gentlemen, all yours.
Hello and good morning to everyone. Absolutely delighted to see everyone here at OAC 2024. Well, for many of us, this is like an annual pilgrimage, and so glad to meet up with all our friends here. So delighted, Kedar, that you could make it here, and great way to start the convention with you. So Kedar, I think we'll straight away jump into the session, which is on unboxing OH for great brand outcome. Now this typical word unboxing, why we thought that we will go for a term like this. Also mindful of the fact that I think looking at your own career journey, unboxing is not a terribly unfamiliar term for you, but that is not the only reason why we chose this term. Typically, from all our experiences of talking to the OH stakeholders around the world, we always felt that OH is quite the package that it is. But oftentimes, people haven't really unboxed that package to know what is really inside it. So I have the opportunity of having a conversation with someone who has had a very incredible 15 plus years of experience, and in that period of time, he has traveled the worlds of fashion and cosmetics and to technology, and you know all the spaces that he has in his tick box, all of them. So great way to get started. So typically when we talk about unboxing OH for great brand outcome, connected to that, how do we really get OH to be a core media buy? I think OH deserves every bit for it to be considered a core media buy. That is my view, and that might be the view of a very large number of people who are gathered here. But we would always like to have the perception of the people who really invest in this media with their brilliant advertising. So Kedar, I'd straight away like to have your perceptions on what it means for you when it comes to OH as a core media buy, and what's the mindset shift, if I may put it that way, that is required from a brand strategist to a planner to someone who's offering this great medium.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Rajiv, for having me here. I think India is going through a very, very interesting times. And if you look at overall consumer behavior, I think there have been huge tectonic shifts that we've witnessed. And akin to that, overall media industry has also gone through a huge shift. And one industry which I think has also kind of evolved with it over time is not just the digital side of things, but also the OH industry. As the evolution has happened, what has probably not happened along with it is the way you see the role of this medium. OH in large parts continues to be still seen as more of a reminder medium, is more of an impact that you want to leave, versus something which is also a core medium to deliver engagement. I think what used to be seen as static is no more static, it's all dynamic. And if I want to shift the mindset, it's very similar to a digital social medium. The only difference is it's on steroid. So if I see OH in a new way, I see OH more as a digital medium which is actually on steroid. And that's been the core when I look at a bunch of things that we did at Amazon or what we plan to do at Kotak or what we've done in the past with CPG businesses. I think the moment you see it as a very, very different medium and not just a reminder medium, I think it has changed the way we have leveraged it. And time and again, it has kind of given us huge outputs as well. So there were times when we were off it, then there were times when we were on it, and I think there are good data that kind of suggests how it is really impacting on the business numbers.
All right, that's interesting, Kedar. Coming back to the fact that you have actually dealt with a number of the business sectors, from beauty products to technology and e-commerce, tell us, is there a common thread that runs through all of these experiences, and what were your own learnings when you actually got to use OH for your own advertising?
Yeah, I think if I look at it the way at least the journey has been for me, has been from a very traditional business, which is FMCG, to a completely an e-commerce space, and then now into a space which is changing, which is banking and fintech. And across the three, as I sit across the table or my teams sit across the table on evaluating where to invest for any of your campaigns, we've always been looking at data metrics. We've been looking at an ROI metric, which kind of helps define where you want to put your money. And an absence of a media metric or an absence of an ROI metric, calls are often done at a very, very subjective level. And when you start rationalizing your spends, you often take out the spends that are very, very subjective and a little more, person driven. So if you see the last 10 years, the first area which latched on to this whole ROI mindset of selling media was digital, which is essentially moving towards entire impressions, getting to a CTR, getting to VTR, so on and so forth. So as we were initially only spending towards TV, largely radio, and we had a few spends going on OH. Those spends started getting replaced by digital a lot. And while these spends were getting replaced, I think over a period of time, now with the evolution that you're seeing, especially with the integration and the overall larger data analysis that a OH can also provide, I think it's making a comeback. So the common thread is really that unless you have a very, very clean, simple ROI metric, a marketeer will make a choice when you give them a hook saying that this is a metric, that this medium can move, and then as long as that medium is very clear and you're able to kind of leverage that to move your business metrics, you'd be able to use it. So now I think more and more sophistication, more and more personalization is what this medium is offering. So that has been the core of, that has been a common thread. Whichever medium offers that, one would like to kind of invest and go after it.
Absolutely. Coming back to this particular theme of our session, which is about unboxing, tell us from your own experience that, who unboxed it for you?
So unboxing is a very, very, very close to me, and unboxing happens to be a big deal when it comes to e-commerce, and no one better than Amazon to have pioneered or leveraged it better. I think unboxing for me for OH happened when I was traveling overseas, and I was going for another conference somewhere, and on my way I was just thinking, what do you usually do? You sit in a car, you look around, and then there was a beautiful hoarding which kind of lit up as a flight just took over. This was, I think, British Airways, and British Airways did a beautiful campaign which was Look Up. So it was a very simple idea where every time a flight went above, the OH would convert into a smile. There was a kid who would jump, point out at the flight, and the experience that I got as I saw that hoarding has been with me for now quite some time. And that's when you realize that the power of this medium is no more about just leaving an impact, a subconscious impact for that matter, but it could transcend into so many different ways. And ever since then, if you look at any successful campaign, I think love the way the overall share a Coke campaign has been done, or in my past we had done entire campaign where we wanted to have different cities contributing towards a cause. This was a campaign we were doing around our biggest sale, which is Great Indian Festival, and what so happened then was we wanted to get people to donate smiles. And as we wanted people to donate smiles, we wanted to say, hey, Bombay, here is how much Pune has kind of donated smiles. And likewise, and there's a huge rivalry and a good friction at that between cities. Now, this single static site, which was otherwise a static site, now became a medium which helped people kind of be and hoot for their cities. So, this medium has kind of, and eventually that led to us kind of getting huge amount of donations to be done to NGO. This is a UGC, call it a UGC, CSR, or something which kind of helps you build a brand. But then it was no more static, and the dimensions that are getting added to this medium are fascinating. So I wouldn't say it's just an unboxing once. This medium is kind of unboxing over a period of time and again, and love the way where it is headed.
Well, I asked this question of unboxing for a very particular reason, and I'm glad to hear from you of how you got to discover this medium in many ways. And you mentioned about the very iconic British Airways that actually gets featured in many of the conventions as a talking point. That said, when you are unboxing, of course, that unboxing happens at your end, but you would probably need some guidance on that. Do you really get that kind of a guidance or that kind of a pitch from the industry, which has so much to offer, but does that come to you as a message that inspires you to discover OH a lot more than what you have so far?
I think you've touched upon a very a core gap. As I was just reflecting on I was passing by, I saw some beautiful EVs, and I don't think any of the marketeers would get even half of what you get to see here.
I think this is a very important point. I think, Kedar, if you're making it, make it strong so that everyone gets that message that I think we need to make OH a much bigger story than what it is. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but yeah.
No, absolutely. So the whole point is, look, who's accountable, or who's that one body which really takes dissipating the information, or one point where a marketer could go and do it. It's so disintegrated that's very difficult. I will bring out a parallel where how a medium has been sold, or rather how a medium has been taken to marketeers. We've all been familiar with Meta and Google, right? The way media has been sold by them, I think they're pioneers at selling medias. And the way they do it is they don't sell media, they sell information, they sell data. They'll come to you, they will organize a full day workshops with you saying that, okay, hey, look, this is what is happening today on these mediums. And this is what it is telling. Like, if someone were to tell me that in Mumbai, there are about 50 such sites, or there are 50 such solutions which could help you target pin code level certain personas of the brand, it doesn't matter whether it's media, whether it's digital, whether it's OH, any marketer would be very keen. So there is a gap, there's a huge gap in the way the information is being dissipated. And I think while you have forums like these which are doing at the buyer side, you also need something which is at the selling side. I think you need something for the marketeers. You need information areas to be exchanged. You need to know the innovation. The pace is very fast. A lot of people are interested in bringing worldwide solutions in India. There you go. There is probably a startup idea of someone to see if someone could just integrate and bring that alive for us.
Absolutely. I think that's a very interesting business point that you've put across. Someone might just take a deep dive and maybe set up a venture or two on this one. Well, coming to this particular point, I think you did mention about the fact that OH becomes a core media buy as the measurement metrics come into the picture. But that said, there is always this point of that's often said about OH that it is an impact media. And we don't talk about impact if that impact is missing, right? So that impact has been experienced by brands down the years. And yet, there is always that question of, are they audience metrics? How reliable they are? So coming to you as someone from the brand side, could I just understand from your perspective, what that impact means. Because for you, that impact is not just a matter of perception. You are also capturing data, you are analyzing to know what that impact meant. So shouldn't that be adequate validation of how the OH performs for you? Or would you still want to wait for the audience metrics to unfurl in all its glory before you really put more money on this medium?
I think we have to go back a little to really understand how decisions are made, and then there is always, I go back to, I love this article, HBR article number 1, which is basically sales versus marketing, and sales versus marketing has kind of over a period of year, it continues to be, and whether we like it or not, there is one side of the equation where you look at consumers and you make a choice, and then there is another side of the equation where you look at internal stakeholders and you make a choice. Increasingly, as the industry is shifting, the shift is happening more towards product-driven companies, or let's say tech-driven companies. And there have been like huge, perceptions that have been challenged around marketing itself, let alone a media. Now, as you start challenging the perception around marketing itself, like, hey, why should you invest on marketing? Products are great. You should just go back and make your products better. So the challenge for a marketer is even more today, where you're really fighting to say why investing on a particular media is actually right. And in order to prove that, okay, hey, this is right, the answers around just being subjective and perception-led aren't enough. And the reason why just having perception or subjective led answers isn't enough is because you're also competing with performance marketing. You're competing with digital marketing. You're competing with everything that gives you a through the funnel view, saying that, okay, you've put 1 rupee here, you've actually got back so much. Now, when you're fighting with that, you have to understand what impact would mean. Impact today does not. Earlier, there was a lack of medium, and I go back 10 years back when I was doing certain campaigns for us to have visibility. It was very difficult to have any incremental visibilities. Hence, out of home was at the very center and core of it. And one out of home site used to be like a huge impact. Everyone used to look at it. We used to go all click pictures underneath it and share it. But now the impact is no more just about huge hoardings, locations, and saying that premium location, but it's about how it has touched me. How, as a consumer, the multi-point journey has come alive to me. Interestingly, I was just exchanging, visiting cards, and I think while sharing visiting card, they said, "Hey, by the way, just scan this QR code." And that's about it. So you see how static medium, which was otherwise just a piece of paper, has now found a place in the phone where the contact is right in your phone and you're able to connect. So that's impact. Impact is not just about leaving and having a huge site. Impact is about telling how many consumers saw it. Impact is about telling how many consumers interacted with it. Impact is about then telling and saying that, okay, how have you closed looped on it? So the definition of impact is undergoing a shift. And this is perhaps still huge. I like to quote, going back to a mix of it. I think we did a campaign with one of the leading stars, Bollywood stars, emerging Bollywood stars, I would say. And we kind of put out huge out of homes. This was on Amazon Fashion, and as we did that, obviously it got noticed. But then the real beauty unfolded when it started getting onto social. And from just having, imagine a reclamation kind of a site in Mumbai, which is probably the world's biggest sites available, and the person was on those sites, that wasn't enough. So taking from there and being viral on social, being on Instagram, being on every other platform is where it kind of started becoming a real impact. So I think that's the way one has to think about out of home.
Beautiful. As you unboxed OH yourself, you would have quite realized that it's a very, very multi-format medium. And it's not just billboards. Billboards are very, very important, but then you have transit media, you have street furniture, you have ambient media, a whole variety out there. So, Kedar, if you can also give us a little bit of a perspective on how OH can be better leveraged by looking at the entire canvas or the entire bouquet of offerings versus looking at purely as a big impact media, which is that billboard that you will see on your drive to the office or to work or elsewhere. Some thoughts on that?
I think like I said, the beauty of any medium and not just out of home is when it starts playing a slightly more deeper role.
Right.
When you start off from and a very basic model IDA, awareness, interest, desire, action. So if you restrict the role of any media to play only one of the four, then the media is not as powerful as any other medium would be. So when you think of medium, when you think of out of home, if I were to urge and really look for solutions saying that, okay, don't treat it as only an awareness medium anymore. It's a medium which can close and close loop the entire action for you. So for example, one of the things that we made it as a mandatory, and when we started putting up out of homes, we said no out of home should go without a QR code on it.
Right.
Now, it's very simple. 4 years, 5 years back, I wouldn't have imagined any Indian to pull out a phone and scan a QR code. But today, when I look at an out of home, and if the whole out of home itself is a QR code, it's just beautiful. You look at it, it has touched me. There is an awareness, there's an interest. The moment there is an interest and desire, I just scan it, I just complete the loop. So it's just one example to bring alive how do not see it unidimensionally, which is either impact or don't sell it as just location, that, oh, I've got great location, I've got 10 best locations. Don't sell it as, hey, huge, the site is huge, it's 40 by 40, 100 by 200. That won't do the job. It's just about how you close loop the action for a consumer and make it easy for the consumer. As you see a message, just make it easier for them to close it.
Fantastic. Actually, you have a very important message out to the industry. We have just 20 seconds left, and I'm sure there are going to be a lot of questions that have been asked, which will come through the app, and you will be addressing the 3 best questions. But for your final message to the Indian OH, especially from the media owners and to the media owners and to the buyers, what would that be?
Yeah, I think I have two. I probably would like to end the note on 2 things. One, if I were to look at it from the buying side, make it easier for the brands and marketeers to buy media, buy digital media. It's very easy for marketeers to buy media when it comes to anything digitally. They've all made it DIY. They've made it like you just go click and you can buy it. The disintegrated nature of OOH in India makes it extremely difficult for any marketeer to really go and buy it, and hence it becomes access and reach to certain providers as opposed to making it democratic the way you buy it. I think that's one. The second, as you think of selling it, please don't sell it as just a location and just the number of sites, but sell it as a data solution, sell it as a vehicle where you could see it as an inciting platform and something that can close loop entire action for the brand marketers.
Thank you so much, Kedar. It's been an amazing time for me to have this conversation with you. I'm quite sure that everyone here also enjoyed this conversation equally well. There's something more that Kisha will guide us on. I think some questions coming up.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rajiv. Yes, it is that exciting time. But we'd like to say a big thank you to Mr. Kedar Ravangave. Thank you very much, sir. That was really interesting. All of us were glued onto stage with all the unboxing that was happening. But now to get a little more information, we're going to invite onto stage Mr. Anil Hirani, Armor Display, to do us the honors. He's got the 3 questions from all the many questions that have come in, and he's chosen 3. We're going to request you to answer them and then choose one best question.
Check. Thanks, Kedar, for the lovely insights we had, and thank you, Rajiv. I think there were lots of questions which have come in, so I've chosen the 3 apt questions. The first question is from Mr. Vinod Kumar from Adeen Advertising. The question is, how does out-of-home advertising fit into your overall marketing strategy?
Yeah, I think the so I'm a kind of a hybrid marketeer who's started off the journey from traditional marketing to getting to a new age way of marketing. So for me, out of home has played multiple roles, but as I see it today, it's playing a role where it is also one of the primary mediums. I met a consumer. We were talking and we were trying to understand, various shifts that the consumer is seeing. Interestingly, the consumer said, "By the way, I'm looking at some of these sites. There was a billboard which helped me understand what's going on television." Now, that is really that's a big shift. People are not watching TV, we all know that. They're moving to connected TVs, but at the same time, they're actually, when you look at things around, the way I see it now, and most marketeers are seeing it, is it could potentially be a starting point of your campaign, as opposed to digital first, which was about 5 years back, as opposed to TV first, which was about a decade back.
Thanks. The next question is from Mr. Suryanarayan Vishwanathan. The question is OH unboxing. No other advertisement mediums has these many options of billboards, transit, bus shelters, etc. When these many options are available, why the brands are not considering OH as their first option of advertising? We have always given the leftover budgets. Can't we get the first preference over here?
I feel the intent behind the question. I don't want to say the pain, but look, at times the disintegrated nature of it can actually be going against it. The fact that there are so many options and the fact that there are so many things to be done leaves a client or a marketeer wondering what one can do. So the moment you try and simplify it in a way where you just let them know what a package of it, or a consorted or a combined thing around it can really work for the brand, I think that will do the trick. You're right. I think up until now, and there have been a lot of things, right? I think Bangalore is making a comeback on out of home. So there are things which have impacted the way out of home could have been leveraged. And as you think of it now, if you start selling it as with a measurement which is very, very clean and a measurement which is reliable, I don't think it's going to be a leftover budget. If you appreciate the fact that you're not selling a medium, you're basically selling a metric, and that's what really matters, and a metric which matters to a marketer as well as consumers, I think you'd be able to, be in the center of what the budgets are.
Thanks. The third question is from Nabendu. Isn't DOH also builds impact and memorability of brands within Gen Z population? How brands are taking clue from while deciding on these media formats?
Yeah, I mean, Gen Z, millennials, so many different kinds of segments and different kind of fields. I think what remains constant is, have you been able to deliver an experience through a particular medium? And the role of creativity plays a big role in the way you try and leverage them. And if you pick up any case of any good campaign, whether it is on any medium, as long as it has had a very clear, when it touches you on multiple levels, either multiple senses, either multiple levels in which it questions your own beliefs, I think it works well. So irrespective of the TG segment, as long as there is a very core creative and a great insight around how you deliver to your consumers, I think it will do the job. So I go back to the point around, if you want to really look at this medium, help all your brands to appreciate it beyond impact, help marketers appreciate it from a clear impact on business, impact on consumers. I think that's how the decisions will continue to be timeless. And then even if we were to talk about it a decade from now, it will be the case.
Thank you. So out of these three questions, we would like you to choose whichever one of them is the best.
I really like the second one, which was very honest and it was spot on, saying that okay, hey, this is where it's a leftover medium, and then if it's a leftover medium, what do we do? And it encompasses the effort that we are all trying to put in here. So thanks for asking that on behalf of everyone else here.
So that was Surya Narayan Vishwanathan.
Mr. Vishwanathan, can we please have you?
While he walks to the stage, in this forum, we have a lot of media owners today. We have the people who have been, supplying the hardware. We have, people who have been deciding how the future industry should go. What is one message would you like to give to all these media owners? One message, so that they come top of your mind, and first thing you will say, okay, let me give this much budget to them. Just one thing.
I think don't sell space to us, don't sell a location to us. Help us understand whatever investment we make there can do to the consumers and can do to the business. If you answer that, I think it's a straightaway check.
One of the things we'd like to keep you informed that we have put across a measurement system now called as Roadstar, and it has already been implemented, and I think as we go, Pawan will do certain announcements on that. And this measurement system is already in place, and few of the media owners have started using it. So very soon it'll come to on your table, with a lot of data on various sites that you will start seeing that. I just thought on behalf of the media owners and the board, I will let you know that.
I think that's a big news. As being in this industry for so long and still not having to know about it, I'm glad that we are moving in that direction. It's just about how soon can we do it. I'll be eager and then really willing to partner whoever is kind of pioneer this and make it big here and globally as well.
Yes, work in progress for the last couple of years. It's pretty mature now, and the entire process is done. The vendor is chosen, already being implemented. A lot of these sites are uploaded, and the traffic data has started coming in, and you will start seeing the results now. Thank you.
Thank you. Look forward. Thank you guys. Thanks everyone.
Mr. Anil Hirani to join us as
Yes.
well. And ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our winner. He walks away with 10,000 rupees. Fantastic. Yes, put your hands together. Who knows when you're going to walk onto stage?